famous as DC, there are a lot of rumors and stories that get passed around from generation to generation, tourist to tourist. And some of them are true and some of them aren't true. So DC Myths Debunked Part 2 starts right now.
I'm Sherri Ann Green with Coldwell Banker. Welcome to my YouTube channel that guides home sellers and home buyers in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia.
Myth number 5, the color of the Washington Monument stone changes a third of the way up to mark the high water mark of the Great Flood. So this is a myth too. The truth is, 7 years after the cornerstone of the Washington Monument was laid, the project ran out of money. So from 1856 to 1876, all work stopped. It's 20 years. And it didn't start back again until Congress funded it. That happens to a lot of things, doesn't it? So Congress refunds the project. They go to get stone. It appears that it is matching. Once it gets laid though, and it ages, it does become a different color. Myth number 6, the Potomac River is one of the dirtiest rivers in the country. Now, Lyndon B. Johnson, President Lyndon B. Johnson, is famous for saying that the Potomac River is a national disgrace. That's probably why this myth, has stuck around. Now, if I were you, I wouldn't swim in the Potomac River, and I certainly wouldn't eat any fish from it. And the truth is, the National Park Service recommends the same. But it isn't one of the dirtiest rivers in the country. It's not even on the list of the 50th dirtiest rivers in the country. And there has been a lot of work over the last few years and a lot of ongoing work, even right now as I film this video, to change that. There is a huge water and sewer project going on along K Street and Water Street to reroute different pipes to help clean up the Potomac. And the hope is that by 2025 or shortly thereafter, we have a much cleaner river. But for now, while you can't believe the myth to be true, it's probably a good idea not to swim in the Potomac nor to eat any fish out of that river until we get a better report. Our next myth, no one's really from DC. The truth is, DC is a very transient city. I wasn't born here. I moved here 28 years ago, and now people consider me a local. That's actually what I get called. Oh, you're a local. You've lived here long enough. And I think a lot of us get that title after being here for 15 or 20 years. But the truth is, there are real locals. I would say today, 40 to 50% of the people who live here are locals. There was a study actually done in 2009 that said 46%. So I say let's give it a little more of a leeway today, and 40 to 50% of the people who live in the district were born and raised here. A lot of people have roots here. A lot of people's families live here, and I've seen that just in real estate. We have bought property for my clients who the home has passed from generation to generation. And that's a really neat story to be able to tell. So, is everyone from somewhere else in DC? No, they're not. There are a lot of wonderful locals and a lot of great local history about the District of Columbia. Our next myth, Beltway Bandits, was coined to describe defense contractors. You've probably heard this term on the news again or on Meet the Press or some show that talks about politics, and they talk about the Beltway Bandits have come in and gotten funds for their district or for their project. And that's true. There are a lot of people who come to town and lobby for funds, and that's where everybody thinks that this term got started, but it didn't. The term precedes all these lucrative defense contractor benefits and programs and deals. When the Beltway around the district was opened in 1960, there was actually a burglary ring that used the Beltway as an easy getaway. They were targeting homes in Maryland and Virginia, so the Washington Post in 1968 coined them the Beltway Bandits. It wasn't until 1970 that a New York Times article used the term to describe government contractors. Are you new to my channel or you just haven't subscribed yet? Make sure you do. I post videos every week on the buying and the selling process and living in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia, and I'd love to have you come along.